Welcome and thank you for tuning into JoyTutor. I am JoAnna Riggins, your host, also known as Jo the Joy Tutor. Get ready to embark on a journey to transform our lives from the inside out. Whether you're working to achieve a big dream, struggling with fear, self-love, complicated relationships, or simply trying not to give up on this thing called life. Learn, grow, and live in your joy.
The power of no and my relationship with no is not feeling guilty after I say it. Number one.
Yes.
That's me living in the premium package.
In the premium.
Okay.
Right.
And also pausing before I say no. Stopping and really taking in consideration of what I need first before I respond to committing to anything. Because I found myself, and I did it a lot, where, and this is what this season is going to be about, is how I overcame and I am maintaining to stop people pleasing. Like I didn't even know I was people pleasing. I didn't even know I was seeking approval. I didn't even know I was, which this shocked family, close family and close friends, that I was looking at myself as an ugly duckling.
Yeah.
And treating myself that way and talking to myself that way. And I was treating myself that way subconsciously with the little things that I would do. Like, if y'all know I'm not supposed to eat fried food, and because my cholesterol is literally 303, that's self-sabotage.
Absolutely.
That's what this season is about. This season is about me identifying major pain points, major areas of healing, which was around number one, the foundation, self. How did I get here? First of all, what is in the garbage can? Because I look at all that stuff as being in the garbage can. What is the garbage can that I am dragging around and hiding and covering up with my success? I've covered it up with my success. And it wasn't always that way, Tenille. I mean, I felt very confident about myself up until about 2006 or something like that, where I had a romantic partner who I was not with at the time, but I cut this person off. And I said, look, I'm married and I know better, so I'm going to do better. Because my family has, I can't say I understood or saw or was modeled to me to be faithful, to have faithful marriages and relationships. That was not modeled to me. Not talking about my mom or anything or my dad, but people around me. So I learned that there's a such thing as emotional cheating. And I didn't want to be in a situation like that. So I cut this guy off, changed my number and everything, said I was done. When I tell you he sent me the nastiest email, and I blocked out a lot of it, but what would trigger, see, I could talk about it without crying and I feel I'm good. Girl, he said I am so beneath him that he should spit on me. Yes, y'all did hear right. He should spit on me, and I'm nothing but a ghetto hood chick from the south side of Chicago. Now, mind you, I've graduated on time from high school with twin babies. First to graduate, third generation teen mom, but first to graduate in my family, first to go to college, receive associates, my bachelor's, my master's, and I was halfway through a PhD program at the time. Bought first to buy a big home, a home. I bought a car off like I had achieved a lot of success, and then my children were happy and wonderful and thriving. And he looked at me and said, and now I know this is part of because I had to deal with that. I had to go back because I needed healing with that. That, I want to say, flip the switch, because I would have never in a million years thought that he would ever one, see me that way, and two, say something like that to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what that was, Tenille, at that point, because I had had similar situations like that with my mom, with other family members, with other romantic partners, and even friends. So for him to say it, it was like, okay. And it was downhill from there. I would say that was about 2006 or something like that. And it was downhill from there, where everything where I had a mistake or misstep, it was like
Exactly.
validating what he said.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So then you were in this vicious cycle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and then after him, because I've had most relationships that ended in that way, where my first marriage, he was just like, okay, I'm done. I mean, mind you, we were 18, 19, right? But the way it ended, it was just so abrupt. He's like, I don't like that you wear sundresses. I don't like that your hair is curly. And I'm like, but whatever, I'm strong. At the time, I'm like, boy, whatever. But somebody else, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Absolutely.
I got that. But see, again, I felt confident.
Right.
But when that happened with the 2006 situation and everything after that, it was downhill.
Yeah. So that's 16, it's 14 years
Yeah.
that you've been not confident in who you are, but
Yeah.
still maintaining the outer appearance, still successful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Still knocking down, doors, doing your thing. So it appears, it looks on the outside, it's like, nope, she's got it. She's fine. She's very well put together and things like that. And on the inside, it was just kind of deteriorating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was. It was deteriorating. And so at that point, what it validated was me and my mom and my grandmother had a big argument. Now, mind you, this is later on. I'll go into more detail later on in the season. But my mom and my grandmother looked at me and said, "Look at you. That's why you have 3 kids. You ain't nothing. And for your who you came from." And then her head to say that. And then, me and my sisters bumped heads, and, her friends, and look at you, you this, you that. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, at that point, I'm telling them, like, I could show you better than I could tell you,
Right.
know.
Right. So then it was
Nah.
a fronting. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
And I did.
Yeah.
And that conversation, I told my mom, like, look, I'm going to be the first to graduate with our masters. I'm going to buy a home. I'm going to have this successful career. And I did just that. I did all of that.
Yeah.
But by the time I'm in the house, I'm driving a new Lexus, and my career is growing. I'm making 6 figures. I'm married, and not happily married, but married. That's another episode. And when that situation happened with the email, that was like, okay, my I want to say my spirit said, you know what, we have heard this narrative from people that we love, something's. And so from that point, I started going in my head, like the voice changed.
Yeah. So then it was the negative self-talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
The bully in my head started.
The biggest bully. The biggest bully.
The biggest.
And
it was a space that I wasn't familiar with. I'd never been fearful. Ever. Never been fearful. I mean, I packed my kids up, left Chicago, packed all 3 of them, left Chicago, moved to Carbondale, Illinois, went to school full time. I'd never, ever been fearful about going after what it was I want. But my mother told me, no, you need to drop out of high school because I'm not taking no parent loans out. You need to figure it out. Okay. I got this, sis. I'm gonna figure it out. And I figured it out because and then my faith. Oh, honey, you couldn't tell me nothing about my faith in God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
While my father strung out at the time, it didn't matter. Because he said, my Father is in heaven. My Father created my earth father. So as long as Father on my side. Oh, honey,
Yeah.
I'm unstoppable.
Yeah. And you pushed forward, but your spirit was good at that point too, right? So it was all aligned.
Yeah.
And then somewhere it got shifted.
The relationships.
And yeah.
Yeah, the relationships outside of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, well, I will say poison. You know, it's like a computer program where you get a virus. You have a laptop and it's functioning properly. And then you have this virus that comes in and infiltrates it. You have to go in and dig it out. You have to go in and find what is going on. So between now and, well, going back, between now and 2006, I had a breakup, girlfriend breakup, same person. I left the husband. I lost my house. Um, a car was repossessed, was fired. Like all of these things came tumbling down. But I lost, let me tell you, I will say this, I'm a mother. And when the marriage went south because he was looking at inappropriate things on the internet, that's another episode. I just want to be clear that I made the choice to lose my house, my car, and all of my six-figure lifestyle. Okay, the comfort of getting what I want. Now, I left all of that for the safety of my children. So while my self-esteem might have been dwindling,
But when you a mama, there's no, that's not even a debate. Like we already said, we put people before us, right? As women, as moms, that for the safety of the kids, that's not even a, you know, of course you did.
Yeah. So holla. I'm like, I know how to sleep in a twin size bed with a sibling, honey. I can easily get a 2-bedroom apartment. It is nothing.
Nothing at all.
Look, we from the south side of Chicago, honey. We know how to survive.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, that's what this season is about. This season is about understanding my triggers. What are my triggers, and why am I triggered by them? Now that I know that I'm triggered by them, what am I going to do about it? Like, how do I heal? How do I go from there? And I go through this journey of having hard conversations with myself, um, and going so far as having to, per the guidance of the prophet, find a big mirror and putting stickies in the middle of the mirror that says JoAnna B, and it says I love you, and writing a love letter to myself every day for 30 days, and looking at myself in the mirror, every mirror I can get my hands on, to say I love you. And before I go to sleep, I love you, JoAnna, and listening to guided meditations to kind of guide me through the deep recesses of my subconscious mind to figure out what's going on in there. And then having hard conversations with, like I said, my mom and my grandmother. And mind you, our relationship is very close. Me and my mother and my grandmother and my sister, we are phenomenal. We've already kind of worked through a lot. We have worked through quite a bit of stuff and renewed our relationship, but those experiences. Yeah.
That then affects. Yeah. This season's gonna be popping. I mean, people should just listen. I think it's it's not even about being nosy. It's about getting the seeds,
Yes.
so that they can plant and do the work themselves. Because no matter how healed you may think you are, listening to other people's stories just gives you a chance to either acknowledge that you've been there or acknowledge that you need to do some work, right?
Yeah.
So I think that series is going to be really good for people, and I'm super proud of you. Like, your growth has been amazing. It's amazing to watch. Especially those 30 days, like just those Instagram posts and just our Marco Polos, and it was amazing to watch.
Thank you, Fran. I appreciate that. And I'm hoping that, well, I should say the objective for me in doing this and sharing my journey is that the strong people who are my empaths, my light workers, my older sisters or brothers, my single mothers, and the strong friends. We all have those strong friends. I'm speaking to you and showing you how I embody all of those things. I've been strong when I've been, but I'm speaking to you and hoping that I can help you have a much more healthier and loving and balanced relationship with self. Because if you are balanced and in control, even of your mind, over your mind, I have to remind my mind, no. We're not going down that rabbit hole. I'm back here. Okay. Just to give you some tips and I'm not an expert, not pretending to be an expert, but guess what I am? I'm an expert in experience, love.
Yep.
I've lived it.
Yes.
And I've overcame. So if I can do this, you can do this as well. Not everything will apply to you, but I guarantee you'll be able to get something out of it.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just, like you said, it may not apply to the person that's listening, but it may apply to somebody they know that may need to hear it.
Yeah.
It needs to be shared. And I think that that's one thing that as a community we have to start doing is sharing information and stop trying to hold on to stuff. You know, we want to keep it in our back pocket, and it's just like, no, let's share this information. You're not in this alone. I've seen, you know, let me share this Instagram with you, listen to her story. And you know, one life changed, one hurt person healed is a miracle. It's awesome, because like we talked about before, when you change, it's a ripple effect. It's a ripple in your family, in your community. So
I'm excited too. It gets real, guys.
it's real.
I have called, got on Marco Polo and cried on Tenille. I've cried on our other girlfriends. I've cried myself to sleep. I've cried on my boyfriend. He's like, are you okay?
He was like, Raymond, is everything okay?
Yes. I'm like, yes, everything is okay. But being on the other side of that, I will close in saying this, is that I look at myself like I'm looking at myself right now, and I just see that I'm so beautiful.
Absolutely.
And that has been the hardest part because I've lived so much of my life not seeing how beautiful, like to actually finally see myself, and I can see through myself. And my children are healing. My baby, my I don't call them, I shouldn't call them babies. They're 28.
I know what you mean.
Yes.
They're gonna always be a baby.
Yeah. And so they're like, Ma, you're glowing and you're healing. And I'm just changing the pattern within my own family. And my girlfriends and male friends are watching me, and I'm happy to see the positive effects. And also, speaking of positive effects, I will also add that I am changing my last name from Riggins to Williams. And no, I did not get married. You'll have to continue to listen. That's part of the healing process as well.
Yes. In an episode in a few weeks.
Oh, I know. So I'm super excited. Thank you so much, Teenie, for
Of course.
joining. We'll have our other girlfriends on as well, just to talk about different subjects. But you guys will definitely just thank you for your time, being vulnerable and sharing.
Always. Anytime. Anytime.
Love you.
Love you too.
Before I let you go, I'm excited to announce that on August 22nd, we are launching our first Ready to Heal course for anyone who is ready for transformational change. You can register at JoyTutor.com. Also, we are hosting our first Celebration of Courage event. We will honor the big and small accomplishments of ambitious and determined women. You can also find that information and register for this event at JoyTutor.com. That event will be hosted on September 17th. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll close wishing you this. May you rise in your power, step out in faith, and live in your truth. We'll see you back here next Tuesday. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us and listening in. A new episode is available on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can find us by simply searching JoyTutor.
So light and so free. So that, again, friend, thank you for blessing me with your conversation, your love, and your heart. And
Anytime.
we shall do this again.
Yes. All right.
Love you, boo.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.